Hi, I'm David from londonsafes.co.uk. Please subscribe. There's a button on the right hand corner if you find this interesting. Thank you. You may have come across this video from another video that we did recently called Best Safe for Home, where we talk about this Bloomsbury range of safes that we have. I'll link to that now in the top right hand corner. So in this particular video we're going to be having a closer look at the size 2, which is this unit here, but it's useful that I've got the other 3 sizes here that I can make references to during the video. So I'll do that now. The size 1, the smallest unit, is there, and there's a separate video to that I'll link to now in the top right hand corner. That's sitting on top of the largest of the 4 sizes, the size 4, and then we have the size 3, which is sitting there on the bench, and above it the size 2 that we're looking at now. And don't worry, they don't come with these labels. These are just magnetic labels that I've used purely for this video. The size 2 tends to be the unit that we sell the most of when someone hasn't got something really particularly large that they want to keep in a safe. It's about the right size for most sort of domestic inquiries that we get. If you are putting laptops and things like that, you will need the size 3 or indeed the size 4, but the size 2, as I say, is the most popular. So let's have a look at those external dimensions. So the size 2 is 280 millimeters high by 400 millimeters wide, and it has a depth of 350 millimeters. This angle might be useful as well. So that's the size 1 on top of the size 4, and as you can see, the difference between the sizes. They're also available with a regular key locking mechanism instead of this digital keypad, this membrane keypad. But these particular safes are what we call a hybrid safe, and I'm going to explain what that means shortly. I'm going to go ahead now and open the safe using the factory default code. So it's a 6-digit PIN number that you use. You'd set your own one, your own secret code, but the factory are using 6 ones. So the process would be, you press the on button, then the 6 ones, and then the enter button, and the OK light will come on, and you'll hear a little click, and that means we have a limited time to turn that knob before the OK light goes off. If you hadn't have done that, the safe wouldn't be openable. You'd have to go through that process again. It's about 4 seconds or something. And once we've done that, the safe is now open. What the knob is doing is the knob is operating the bolt. So you can see on the inside of the door, you've got a bolt at the top. There's another one at the bottom there, and there's 2 on the side. And if I just gently rotate that backwards and forwards, you can see them all moving in correspondence. So these Bloomsburys are incredibly well made in Italy, and they're made in a state-of-the-art factory that I've visited myself. Very, very secure. The front of the safe is all made from one slab of solid 10mm steel, which is cut out with a laser. I'll just shut the door. So as you can see, that's cut very, very finely, so we have hardly any gap here where burglars might try to drive tooling in, like a screwdriver or a crowbar with a hammer, to try to prise the door open. You know, that's not going to work on this design. And also they've set the door in so that the door is quite small relative to the safe, which also means that it's more secure. There's less door to bend if someone's trying to smash it with a club hammer or something like that, or a sledgehammer inwards, if you see what I mean. And the door itself sits against this fully welded reinforced frame on the bottom, on the side and the top, which again is preventing this forces inwards from trying to press the door or smash the door into the safe, which is a common technique. The bolts lock into these receiver holes here, same on the side. There's another one on the top. I don't know if I can show you. Yeah, there it is. At the top of the door here, you can see that chamfer on the edge of the door. How clever that is, that as the door shuts, I'll try and get around, as the door shuts, you can see it shuts completely flush. Very well engineered product, this. So all the welding has been rounded over and powder coated, as you can see. So there are no seams anywhere on the safe that are visible. Another testament to the quality of the manufacturing. All powder coated. They come up in this blue colour. They also sometimes deliver to us in a more of a black sparkling colour. We can't guarantee which colour you're going to get. If colour is vital, please talk to us about it, but chances are it's going to be this blue. So your insurance rating on this safe, and it's a certified safe, is £4,000 in cash or £40,000 in valuables. And that's a certified rating because they're independently attack tested and certified to EN 1150, and that's classification S2 by the prestigious ICIM test house. So inside you've got your removable shelf, so it's one position, which is roughly in the center. You get this carpet included, and your internal dimensions are an internal height of 260 millimeters, an internal width of 390 millimeters, and your internal depth is 295 millimeters, and that gives you a total internal storage capacity of 30 litres, which compares to 16 litres for the size 1. So there's quite a bit of difference in storage capacity between the size 1 and the size 2, but not a ton of difference in price. So the size 2 really is the one to go for here if you're I'm in an R in between the size 1 and the size 2 and you don't need the space of the size 3 or 4. So if you have watched the other video where I talk about best safe for home, which doesn't mean the best safe in the world, it means the best safe for home at the moment. At this price, you will not get anything better. That is my opinion after nearly 30 years in this industry. And you'll see there's your 4 fixing holes at the back. That's one of the reasons why I consider it to be so good, because we can get 4 very robust fixings into the wall. Lots of safes only come with 2 or 1, and I won't pull the carpet out, but there are also 4 additional holes in the base. And as you know, it's free delivery and free installation with us, providing you are in our service area, which is there, and that's also on our website. And I can't stress how important installation is. You know, you can have the best safe in the world, but if it's poorly installed, someone's going to drag it off, dislodge it from its mounting and steal it. You know, this is the thing. So with small safes like these, and we consider all 4 of these to be small really, in real terms we do safes that are huge, but in small safes for domestic use, you'll want the multiple fixings, you'll want it fixed as well as possible. So I mentioned earlier on about the hybrid safe to do with key locking and digital, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But first I want to show you what happens if you have a problem and the battery goes flat. So you might think, oh, it's all well and good, it's battery operated. What if the battery goes flat? Well, they've thought of that in this safe, and you've got 2 ways of getting into this safe in the event of a flat battery, or you forget your code. You know, we get the phone call fairly often now where, oh, we haven't used the safe for ages, we can't find the code, and we don't know how to open it. So the first way is you'll see these little terminals here, plus and minus. So let's imagine the battery's completely flat, and it will warn you if you're using the safe regularly as you're going through that process that I showed you. It will show you if the battery's weak, because that LED will illuminate. But you can open it by powering it externally with a regular 9-volt battery. And you'll see here that the terminals on the battery comply with the plus and minus there, and the big and the small, and you're going to simply hold that onto there. I can't do it because I've got the camera in one hand, but while you're holding that on there, with your other hand, enter your code, and you still have to enter your code. It always remembers your code. Simply because the battery's gone flat doesn't mean doing this will open the safe. You still need the code. Tap your number in, and then you can replace the batteries, having opened the safe, obviously. So I'm just looking at the back of the door here, and there's only sort of 2 key features that you need to know about here. Is your batteries live in this little door. 4 AA batteries on this particular model. We use the alkaline. In fact, we tend to use the industrial cells when we're installing them. They can be a little harder to get hold of, but your regular Duracell types batteries are fine. Little screw, you just undo that little screw, and in there your batteries are in there. And you've got your programming button, and that's got a little safety cover over it, and you slide that over. That's the button. That's for setting your own code in a procedure that we have a video on, and also you get instructions on how to do that. And we do demo that process for you during the installation, but we don't like to be there when you set your code. We want you to set your own code independently of us. Okay, so the hybrid element that I was talking about is the fact that with this safe, you get keys as well. And there are the keys, and there's a little disc that I'm going to explain what that is now. So the safe is open at the moment. So let's imagine, I don't know if you saw that, there you are. Let's imagine that the safe's locked, battery's flat, or you've forgotten your code. What do? Well, you see this little E. E stands for emergency, because they say that's an emergency situation. That's a little self-adhesive cover. I'm just going to peel that off very carefully. I'm going to put it back after. And that reveals the keyhole that those keys go into. And the manufacturers even give you a couple of spare little e-stickers or whatever you want to call them. Then you simply insert one of the keys, they're both the same, into the lock and rotate it. And you've now opened the safe, even with a completely flat battery. And if you've forgotten your code, you're still in and you've managed to successfully open your safe. You can now reset your code or change the batteries and you're away again. So I've popped that little cover back in place because most people are just going to use these keys in an emergency. But here comes the hybrid element of it. Not only are they emergency keys, but because they are a proper security key, a proper double-bitted safe key, is you can carry on using your safe with the key. So if you didn't want to use the keypad and you're not sure whether to buy a key locking safe or a digital safe, you can just use it as a key locking safe. So that's the hybrid element of it. Likewise, and we've never had one gone wrong, and it's over 25 years now of installing these, but if years down the line it did go wrong, it is electronic after all. You haven't got just a brick that's no use to you that you'll have to pay someone to open. You've got a safe that you can carry on using because you've got those keys. That's why we really, one of the reasons why we think this is the best safe for home. Okay, so you may well want to know what will fit in the safe, and it can be difficult to see how big things are on videos and on websites, but let's put a piece of A4 paper into the safe. I'll put it up on the shelf so you can see that you have absolutely tons of room for paperwork, no problem at all. I've got a luxury watch box that I'll pop in the safe now, and there it is in the corner. As you can see, lots of room for watches if that's your thing. Lots of our customers are watch collectors. You'll get iPads in here, no problem. I don't think you're going to get laptops. Maybe small, really tiny little, what they call them, notebook type ones might go in, but we can always talk about the dimensions if you get in touch. The dimensions of the door opening are on the images on the website, and there's a link to the safe, all the safes actually, in the video description. SLR cameras, yeah, you probably have to, probably not, maybe you wouldn't have to move the shelf to get them in there, but if you did move the shelf, you can certainly get 3 or 4 big cameras in there. And I've just taken the shelf out to show you that it's removable. It just sits on those little runners there. So if you needed something larger in there, you'd have no problem just to take the shelf out. You're not going to get folders like A4 folders or foolscap folders in here. You'd be looking at the size 3 or the size 4 with a much bigger volume to do that. If you want fire resistance as well, because essentially this isn't a fire resistant safe, it's a burglary safe. But if you want fire resistance as well, amongst the accessories that you can order at checkout, we do a fire retardant wallet that will fit in this safe, so you can put your vital papers and stuff in the wallet, put it in the safe, and you've got your fire resistance, you've got your burglary resistance from the safe itself. And I'm going to cut now to a video that I made some time ago, which talks about all the different accessories that are available for the safe at checkout. Obviously it's not next to these safes, it's a different time period, so it may sound a little different to this one. So hopefully you're going to buy a safe from us and we're going to come and install it for you. So during the checkout process, if you are doing that, and thank you if you are, there's a number of accessories that you can purchase. So the first one is a automatic light, battery operated, 3 AAA cells, and it's got a little movement sensor, and that pops onto the underside of the top of the safe, and as you open the safe the light comes on, illuminates the contents. Very useful for dark cupboards or wardrobes, things like that, so you can see what's going on in there. Then we have this, which is a flame retardant wallet, so you can put your A4 documents and bits and pieces in there for extra fire protection. We have a carpet base if you want a carpet in the bottom of your safe. As you see, they don't come with one. If you want one, then that's an optional extra. This is a pair of Faraday pouches for putting car keys in. Key cloning, theft of cars is very, very common now. You put your keys in here and the people with the dodgy equipment can't pick up the signal in the house to take your car away. And finally we have this dehumidifier box, which you can put inside the safe. It's reusable, you can dry it out on a radiator, absorbs moisture, protects things from condensation, because you can get condensation form inside a big steel box like that. Also useful for keeping firearms dry as well, and these are all recommended accessories for your safe that are available at checkout. And if you've got this far, well done. I know these videos are a bit boring, but you don't buy a safe every day, and if you are just doing your research now, what safe to buy, it seems very confusing. I think you can't go far wrong with one of these Bloomsburys. A word about us: we're London and Home County Safes, londonsafes.co.uk. Give us a call, 0208 445 0001. If you've got questions, where can it go? How do we fit it? Can you fit one in your home or your business? We're happy to answer. And it's free delivery and free installation in the areas that you see there. I won't list them all because there's quite a few. And we are rated excellent on Trustpilot, and we'd be very happy to talk to you. And why not consider subscribing and liking this video? If it's been any help to you at all, it would be a help to me if you did. And at the end of this video, you'll see a link to another video, which is the main video that possibly brought you here, I don't know, but which talks about why this is the best safe for home. It goes into a lot of the same details, but it is a bit longer, and it talks about the fixing and the bolts and things like that we use. Thanks for watching.
Free delivery and free installation. Your safe will be delivered and professionally installed by one of our own vetted employees who will arrive in an unmarked vehicle. Get in touch online or call us on 0800 711 7892.